Hi guys, we are back today to continue our fractions topic lesson for this week. Okay, so this week we're talking about ordering fractions. Okay, we can order numbers by, number one, least to greatest, which means going from smallest to biggest, or they call it ascending order, going up. Okay, the next one would be greatest to least, which means going from the biggest number to the smallest number. And this would also be called descending order, going down. And then as you can see, we have the numerator and denominator. The numerator is up top, the denominator is on the bottom of a fraction. Okay, we can order fractions many ways, but the very key component to ordering fractions would be to find the least common denominator. Okay? To find the least common denominator, we have to find the least common multiple. And this is what happens and what we need to do when we're given two or more fractions. Okay? We have to find the least common multiple of two or more denominators. So we're going to be looking at the denominators to start with. Okay? Let's jump right in to the together questions. Okay? The first thing you need to do when you're ordering fractions is to compare them. So when we're finding our least common denominator, we have to find the least common multiple. So we take the denominators, 4, 7, and 8, put it from least to greatest, and you're going to find the factors of them until they are matching. Okay, so 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. You're going to keep going until you fill all of them in and they all have matching numbers. Okay, this one was a long one, I promise you. I will not give you a long one after this one. Okay? So we found out that our least common multiple was 56. So 56 is going to become our common denominator. Okay, let's look at this. So we started with 2 sevenths. Okay, our first fraction. Okay, we went to 56. And the way we did that, we multiplied 7 times 8 to get 56. So since we did that, we have to multiply our numerator, or the top number, by 8 as well. So then we have 6 out of 56. 16 out of 56. Okay? The next one, we had a fourth, and then again, 56 was our common denominator. We ended up multiplying the top and the bottom, so the numerator and the denominator, by 14. Okay, so then 1/4 became 14 out of 56. Last but not least, 3/8. From 8 to 56, I multiplied by 7. So I multiply by 7 to the top. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, then I have all common fractions. They all have 56. The directions say order from greatest to least. So the biggest number up top is going to tell us which one is bigger, since they all have the same denominator. 21 is the biggest number. So this is our greatest one, then this one, and then this one. So when we put it in order, we should have 3/8, then 2 sevenths, and then 1/4. So our answer is 3/8, 2 sevenths, and 1/4. Okay, feel free to pause this video if you need to copy down this question. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Okay, again, this one is from least to greatest. So it's the same concept, it's just about the ending, how we're going to compare which one goes first and which one goes second and which one goes third. So we have a third, 4/9, and 2 27ths. So I take the denominators, 3, 9, and 27, order them from least to greatest, find their multiples, right? So 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, so on. Okay? So it might help to even start with the bigger number first. Okay, but don't just keep going on and on and on. We just want to find the common multiple, the least common multiple. So the lowest one that they have in common. Okay? Even though all these numbers are lower, 9 and 27 don't have them. So until we hit 27, that's what we have to do. So 27th is our least common denominator. So we're going to put that right there. So we start with 1/3, 4/9, and 2 27ths. I'm making all of the denominators 27. When we have 1/3, our denominator is 3. So 3 times 9 is 27. So what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 1 times 9 is 9. Next one, 4/9. Okay? We multiplied by 3 to get 27, so we have to multiply by 3 up top. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 out of 27 now. 2/27. This one, we got lucky. It was already in the 27th as a denominator. So I multiply by 1 to top and bottom, and it stays the same at 2/27. The directions say order from least to greatest. So the lowest number, 2 out of 27, that's the first one. Okay? The second one would be 9 out of 27, so 1/3. Okay? And then 12 out of 27, which would be 4/9. So first, second, and third, from least to greatest. Okay, so we have 2/27, 1/3, and 4/9. Okay, again, after each question is done, I'll leave it a little bit so you can pause it and copy it down if you need to. Okay, let's go on to number 3. List the fractions in descending order, meaning going down. So from greatest to least, biggest to smallest. Okay, so we take our denominators, 2, 8, and 16. We write them down. We find the least common multiple, okay, which turned out to be 16. Okay, so now we have to change our fractions to have the denominators of 16. So we have a half, and to get the denominator to become 16, we do 2 times 8. So now we do 1 times 8. So we have 8/16. Then we move on to 3/8. So we multiplied by 2 to get 6/16. And then 5/16, luckily, was already with 16 as the denominator, so we multiply by 1 to keep it the same. Okay? Now, descending order from biggest to smallest. So the biggest number being 8 out of 16, then 6 out of 16, and then 5 out of 16. So it's actually already in descending order. So 1/2, 3/8, and 5/16. Okay? And if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to email me. Let's move on to numbers 4 and 5. Okay? When they're smaller fractions, okay, we can actually use the option that we learned yesterday. Okay? We draw the blocks, okay? And we can compare. So 5, 3, and 6. So 5, 3, and 6 blocks. Then I color them in. 3 out of 5. I color 3 blocks out of 5. Now they look like they're the same, okay, but that's just because I'm a bad drawer, okay? So when I finish coloring them in, these kind of look tied. So I'm not sure, so I go and I do 3 divided by 5, which gives me 0.6. 2 divided by 3, which gives me 0.67. Last but not least, I have 1 divided by 6, which gives me 0.16. So I already know this one's the smallest, and this one is the biggest since it has a 7, even though they're both 0.6. Ascending order, meaning going up. So from smallest to biggest. We know this is our smallest. So 1/6 goes first. Our next smallest one would just be 0.6, so 3/5 goes next, and then 2/3 as our biggest at the end. Okay? Number 5, ordering 1/3, 3/6, and 7/8 from least to greatest. So for this one, I drew my boxes correctly, okay? But if I don't, I would have to check my work like this. So 1 out of 3 is here, 3 out of 6 is here, and 7 out of 8 is here. We're told to order these fractions from least to greatest. And if we look, least to greatest, the coloring got bigger as it went down. So these fractions are actually already in order from least to greatest. Okay, so we would just write 1/3, 3/6, and 7/8 as our answer. Okay? Now you guys are going to get into your own questions, okay? They're just like what we just did on the together questions, okay? Just different numbers. Okay, so take your time, watch the video as many times as you need to so you can practice the steps. Do not stress yourself out, okay? And if you have any questions, please email me, okay? Make sure you show your work, and I can't wait to see your guys' work when you guys turn it in. I hope you guys are doing well. See you in the next video.